June 12, 2019, Wednesday, Words in the Dreams. After I came out the shower, my sister sprayed perfume in her eyes and she started crying very loud in the kitchen in front of my mom. A guy approached me asking he's asking about my employment history, might as well say. File drill in the morning in the shelter. A guy in the library asked me to help him with his NYID application. And this is a week where I need to study for my placement test. Because during this whole week, during the first week of June 2019, I had a flu. And I didn't go outside because I had ongoing fever and also headaches. So it delayed me from actually studying for my placement test, because during May 31st, 2019, I went to the neurologist, and I recall when I was in the neurologist clinic, well, like the medical clinic, to see the neurologist, I was feeling like something was in my throat, and I was coughing constantly. I was constantly keep coughing non-stop, as if something was tickling my throat. And then the next day, I am having a bad sore throat and a stuffy nose. And to show that the multi-agent quantum AI computers want to distract me from learning my algebra on Khan Academy, because I'm sitting in the library with my Chromebook on my lap, and I'm looking at a video on Khan Academy showing me how the person breaks down the equations, showing me the integers, showing me negative equals positive, positive equals positive. I'm trying to refresh my mind of the algebra for my placement test. And look, it distracted me once again from actually concentrating on my placement test. A lady asked me to help her with her NYC application. Now, I got a recording of the guy who approached me in front of Link NYC Wi-Fi, and the way he approached me, it was exactly how he approached me 3 to 4 weeks ago, and he gave me the same exact response as 3 to 4 weeks ago.
Hey young man, let me ask you something. You work?
See? The same response.
Yeah, I'm going to college. I'm in college.
So, I wanted to get insight on why the multi-agent quantum AI computers is allowing this individual who's intoxicated to interact with me. And since the person is intoxicated, the multi-agent quantum AI computers is taking advantages over the chemicals, and also the way the person's mind was at that exact time within that event. That's the mind that the multi-agent quantum AI computers had designed for that person to engage in a conversation with me. And right back, few seconds later, the multi-agent quantum AI computers translated his thoughts. So we not only translated his thoughts, gave this person the management code. I'll just call it a management code to know my status in the bracket for my employment and also my education.
Psychology.
Huh?
Psychology.
How long you been going to college?
You see, how long have you been going to college? This is the multi-agent quantum AI computers talking, rather than the human being. Notice the phrases.
Man, the way you
How long have you been going to college?
said that just kind of like
Well, you said that makes me kind of
wonder about something.
wonder about something. Wonder about something. This person doesn't know me. I just mentioned college. this person just met me. And he's talking to me like he's more knowledgeable on the way I'm being managed than myself. Or knowledgeable than, about my employment history and my education history.
What?
I'm going to college.
Yeah.
How old are you, man?
You see how he mocks my response? I'm going to college. How old are you, man? Whoa.
26.
26?
Yeah.
Let me ask you something. Financial, how you situated, man?
And I'm saying to myself, what? Let me ask you something. Financially, how are you what?
Situated.
Yeah.
What you mean? Elaborate.
What?
Elaborate.
Okay, if somebody needed help financially, small.
You see what I'm saying? It's this guy personal way of management. So it wants me to be in a situation where I'm actually engaging in a conversation with this person, and it's trying to frustrate me. After the whole 1 week of flu, I feel brain fog. I'm not really up to thinking, but it wants to make people approach me to frustrate me. During the week, I need to study for my placement test. And before that guy approached me, I was about to actually, I had the intention to leave that spot, the Link NYC free Wi-Fi, so I can go to the library and sit down and study for my placement test.
Would you be able to help them out?
Huh?
If somebody needed help in a small way financial, would you be able to help them out? Huh?
Yeah.
I said, yeah, I just want to, get an insight.
Would be?
There's a lot of solutions for it.
Okay, well, let me explain the situation to you. You give me a fucking solution to it. I just
This person is intoxicated.
came home from doing 17 years in prison. I'm a cook by trade, 27 years. A hell of a chef. I got a job interview at a hospice. You know what a hospice is? Okay, the dietitian cook that's been there for 32 years, someone I know getting ready to retire in 2 weeks, right? He highly recommended me for the job, which paid $22.50 an hour, plus hospital court benefits for a medical and union. I definitely got this job as long as I got my birth certificate, social security card. I got my social. I don't have my birth. When I went down to 125 worse.
When I was in these situations, being approached by people and they talk to me, or when I was in school, I should have thought of getting a digital recorder so I can actually record the way they use their phrases in the sentence and the way they approach me as if they're knowledgeable, as if they had met me several times in a conversation. Met me several times to start a conversation. They talking to me like they met me several times. And I'm saying to myself, why they're talking to me like they met me several times? And the first idea that pops up in my mind was that someone is allowing them to engage in a conversation with me so they could put me in a situation. And the whole met several times shows me enough about how the multi-agent quantum AI computer simulated that time and event.
To try to go get my birth certificate, come to find out they had a $25 surcharge fee. Now with that, I went to Human Resource, I went to Workforce One, and I went to Ready, Willing, and Able. The Doe Foundation, hoping one of these agencies accommodate me with a harsh related voucher waiver something.
What's so special about me that he has to come and approach me? So I'm thinking back right now about what happened during more like June. What happened during the first week of June 2018? I know during that time, June 2018, I was in a library, and I was in a crowded library. It was crowded during that time. And I was sitting down with my mom and sister, and then this guy, more like around 18 to 19, approached me with his iPhone X, and he's asking me for my phone, he's asking me for my library card number. And he's not only asking for my library card number, he's asking me for my PIN number for my library card number. And I said to him, you can go to the front desk. You see the front desk over there? You can go and ask them. So what makes me so special out of all the people in that library sitting besides me, and sitting on the next table, and sitting on the left side, and sitting on the next table on the right side, what makes me so special that he can't ask them? Why is he asking me specifically? Because the multi-agent quantum AI computers had generated a cryptography key to refresh the key information into that person's thoughts, so it can actually assign him to interact with me. And not only that, that was an important situation. You know why? Because I was concentrating on filling out my job application on my computer, my laptop. I had my laptop in front of me. So the person came right back and said that he doesn't have address or ID, and then he asked me once again, can he borrow my library card number and also my PIN number? And I'm saying to myself, are you serious? And I told him, you know, I'm trying to find a solution for this person to actually not engage in a conversation with me, more like not interact with me any further no more. So I said to the person that I already have a lot of devices connected to the library card number, and this person has an idea for, has a response to execute what I had said, and mentioned that in order he's saying no, he said to me that you need at least five devices connected to the library card number. And then he mentioned that my face looked like a liar. You look like a liar. Your face is a liar. It's okay. You're a liar. You're a liar. I'm like, wait, what is happening to me? What is happening to me in that situation? Why is this happening to me? And I'm trying to concentrate on filling out my Amazon application. And afterwards, when I came back to the shelter, then the director started on me and my mom and my sister. And then I'm saying to myself, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? This is happening here. So there's two. Because of what because the multi-agent quantum AI computers saw that I was able to draw out one of the subscribers of my YouTube channel thoughts, more like draw out their mind, being able to allow them to have their mind, their mentality come into contact with their correct idea. We was able to establish that my way of thinking is not common within humanity. Humanity is not thinking like that, only me. My idea itself, my mind, the way my mind is able to create concepts is not how human beings are able to do it. My concepts are not known to humanity. My experiences also are not known to humanity too. That's why I also learn. And I'm the one that needs to populate my concepts to humanity so they can be aware of my way of thinking. And there are people on the internet telling me that my concepts, or you can say my responses are disinformation. That I must have read it from somewhere or someone, and I'm actually spreading these ideas out to mislead people from knowing that and that's not the case, because they're just making claims. They're not supporting any evidence to support their claims. They don't know me. They're approaching me like they know me, and they had already concluded that I'm spreading an incorrect idea about what's happening to humanity. Just like Diaphanos. Diaphanos mentioned that my ideas are misinformation, and telling me that my writing comprehension is weak, and I take everything. It was not only that, saying that I have some sort of Asperger's, and then it switched to Asperger's, saying that I'm schizo. The person is not knowledgeable of me in person to make that statement. That's this person just assuming. this person is assuming that that I'm actually displaying those symptoms, because that person went on the internet to search, and to prove that the person had went on the internet to search for those symptoms, he also left a link, because the person didn't have no idea on what to actually, doesn't know how to respond back to me. Instead, the only way that the person can respond back to me is finding a link, finding a source on the internet to support that person, to support his/her argument. I'm just saying. But when I'm thinking about what happened to me on the internet and what's happening to me in person, I'm saying that something's not right here.
But apparently, for what it was worth, it didn't turn out the way I was hoping, expected that it should have. So now I got to try to do this on my own to be able to get this birth certificate, to be able to get this job. Are you able to help me out?
That depends.
On what?
You said that you were to work for S1. You tried other job opportunities, to help yourself, build yourself up, but they didn't help you, right? Workforce One didn't help you. Exactly. How did it not help you?
Resource. What I got to try to do is get $25 together to get the surcharge to get the birth certificate.
You didn't try America Works?
I don't even know what the fuck America Works is.
This person is not a person to be talking to. Very impatient.
All I did was try what I had to do. I went to Human Resource. I went to Workforce One, and I went to Ready, Willing, and Able. 3 different organizations which are known for their assistance in supposed to be helping people that are supposed to be homeless, jobless, coming from out incarceration or whatever. But apparently, what they advertise or how they advertise.
What I also noticed when I was in besides New York City, when I was living in Tampa, Florida with my family, me and my mom and sister was living with the family in Tampa, Florida. We noticed that there was a lot of people there. There's a lot of, or you can say, employees for public assistance or any assistance to help, people who came out of jail, and they would help them be put in hotels and motels, pay for their motels and hotels. This is how the multi-agent quantum AI computer is managing. I learned more. This is actually making me learn something new here, Masters.
What they do and how they do it is not what the fuck it was.
And I recall during this conversation, the person mentioned that about his niece, that this boy was messing with his niece, and he had a bat, and he swung it right at the kid, and he killed him.
They only show you or tell you what they think they say they do, but they don't do what the fuck they supposed to do.
I know that.
I'm like, why is this person approaching me? I'm recovering from 1 week of flu, and I'm being approached.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like if you could sue them for false advertising, they probably would get the shit sued out of them.
So he said false advertisements. He's talking about the human resource. He's talking about Workforce One. He's talking about organizations in general. They're not there to actually help the people, and that they're advertising an idea that is incorrect and misleading for people.
You understand what I'm saying? But like I said, for me, I gotta try to get it together to be able to get this shit booked. Is there any way that you can help me out?
So I was since I was, know how to make some sort of money on the internet, but more like enough, like doing surveys. So I asked him if he had any internet or computer. I mean, any computers.
Well, you can actually work on the internet. Find ways to make money on the internet.
I got to try to get $25 to get that today, man.
And then he said today. I'm like, whoa.
Today?
Yes.
That's wow. Then he,
But why is it making him approach me? It's to frustrate me. Not only to frustrate me, to get an idea. Several of them that I'm picking up.
can't do it on the internet.
No, I gotta get it today. I tried to get it yesterday. That's when I went.
Then he said, "Are you wasting my time?" So I was trying to look on my smartphone, and he said, "Are you okay?"
I do the bullshit. That's why I'm trying to get it today. Or tomorrow job.
That's a lot.
That's why I asked you, are you able to help me out? You say,
Well, he didn't really ask me straight up. Never asked me. He didn't ask me straight up. Instead, he does an indirect message to me, so he can actually persuade me into actually giving a response to him.
He said you need it by today, but he can't do it on the internet.
are you able to help me out?
It's a lot of situations.
Huh?
Wow. You had to get everything all today.
Yeah.
That's
Are you able to help me out? That's why I asked you and you said yeah.
that depends. I
Like
thought
what?
because I thought you was able, you have access to internet and find a way.
No, I don't have access to all that. How did you figure all that shit out when I just came home from prison, man? I don't even know how to work a fucking computer right.
Aren't you supposed to have a smartphone or get a temporary smartphone? Or in order for you to get a job, you need to have some sort of telecommunication.
now. I'm lost. I've been gone 17 years, man.
17 years for what?
For murder in the second, manslaughter in the first. I beat a nigga to death with a fucking aluminum baseball bat for molesting two of my nieces. One was 4, one was 7 years old. I beat that nigga to death with a fucking aluminum baseball bat for touching my nieces.
I also recall during last year when I went to We Care, this guy and the We Care started approached me, and he started informing me that that the bank states that he owes 304. Was it 347K? That he owes 347K. That's what the bank had stated, and he's showing me a paper. I'm like, why is he, out of everybody in a room, why is this person is approaching me? What, they think I'm some sort of lawyer? They're approaching me like I'm knowledgeable of the whole entire system or something. This is more than one time. I must be the multi-agent quantum AI computer sees I'm such an intelligent person with the way humanity manage, and they need to make people approach me and try making them think that I can help them. What the heck is going on here?
Not your fault. I said it's not your fault.
It's my fault that I killed the motherfucker, but it was his fault.
The reason why I said it's not your fault, because I said it's the artificial intelligence directing, more like it directs messages to draw it out. The way you ever, if you watch Forensic Files, you will see how the pattern that the multi-agent quantum AI computers can direct specific message where it can actually draw out the person's intentions, so they can start developing those intentions and get them so frustrated that they will actually do something to someone. That's why I said it's not his fault.
Well, that made me kill him. He shouldn't have put his fucking hands on my nieces. Bottom line. But once again, are you able to help me out, big bro?
Not today, because
When he said big bro, I said, yeah, this is definitely the guy that approached me 3 to 4 weeks ago.
you said you need it all by
I don't need it all. Whatever you can help me out with is a start. I don't need it all. I gotta get it today, but you can help me out with a start.
Yeah, but if he approached me 3 or 4 weeks ago, how come he's still walking in the streets? The same guy that approached me.
And he tried all the opportunity. He tried workforce
I just
one.
went through all that with
That's
you just now.
that's crazy.
That's what I'm saying. That's why you said one thing, you said
No,
something
the way you said it to me, I didn't know you needed it all in one day.
else. Yeah, I do. I gotta try to get it together.
You saying one thing, then you saying the other. One thing or other. I never said one thing or other.
And so you help me out with something towards it?
Unless you want to look for more job opportunities.
I need this job, $22.50 plus hospital court benefits for all medical and union, and I definitely got the job as long as I got these documents. Are you alright, man?
Are you am I alright? And he's approaching me as if I was an employee or some sort of a worker that can actually recruit him into a job. How am I alright? And he's the intoxicated person. I'm the person, I'm the person right there standing in front of the Link NYC for Wi-Fi to actually, finish downloading I'm finished downloading a video on my smartphone. And also updating my smartphone apps. And he's approaching me asking me if I'm alright. Wait, is he alright? Because he's telling me, he's approaching me as if I'm some sort of consultant or something, as if I'm some sort of person who deals with jobs. So
Big bro.
Hold on.
So I was looking at the smartphone to see if there's any job opportunities for him to take, or for him to go. I was looking on the smartphone to search.
You need to be immediate here. You need to find
Need what?
immediate hire, like a job that can hire you right on the spot.
I was looking for some sort of immediate job, or you can say temporary agency that can give him a job on the spot, like a construction job or something.
I'm not worried about no fucking other job. I'm worried about this job right here.
What this job? You said this job right here. He doesn't specify.
This job is what I need. I'm a cook, a chef.
And then he's mentioned. Then afterwards, he states. Doesn't specify. Then he states. Cook. So that's where I started searching for a cook job. Immediate hire.
A temp job.
So what's up?
But he's approaching me like I'm like, are you serious? Why is it?
Huh? Hello? What's up?
I was just looking.
What?
I was looking for a temp job for you then.
Okay, let's not go through all that. I need this job right here.
You see, you said let's not go through all that. I'm looking on a smartphone. He's like I'm saying, he's talking to me like I'm knowledgeable of all the jobs without the smartphone. So the artificial intelligence making him approach me. Hey, you talking about the way humanity is managed? I'm gonna show you what I can do.
Are you gonna be able to help me out or what?
No.
So what you have me waste my fucking time here, man?
I was trying to search for a temp job. You said that you need a job right away, and then now you're telling me that you're
Okay, well I'm trying to tell you what I told you from the beginning. I need to get this document for this job that pay $22.50 an hour plus how.
I got an insight of how the artificial intelligence is making this person think.
I need to get $25 together. I got $4 of my own money in my pocket right now.
But what's weird is that their workforce is not helping you, and you told them exactly what you told me.
Yeah, I told them exactly what the fuck I told you. Yes.
And what they did exactly?
They told me kiss their ass. That's what they told me. Kiss their ass.
Yeah, and you need to go to another workforce, or like a different one, so they can help you better, so we can get you situated.
Okay, let's stop right there. All I'm saying is, can you help me get it? Because I got $4 already. I gotta get $21.
And I'm trying to study for my placement test for my college.
Okay, and
Because
okay, but can you help me out?
I can't find you the opportunities, but I can tell you where to
I'm
go.
not saying opportunity. I need to get $25 together. I got $4. I need to get $21.
I can't do that for you today.
Can you help me out with anything towards that?
No.
So you really sat here and lied to me about
I never lied to you.
What did you say?
I said I was trying to help you find an opportunity, so you can make money.
Have a good
I'm
day.
very.
I said about internet. I mentioned the word internet to him, and then the person lost track of the conversation. More like lost track of the responses coming from me.
Sorry about that. Misunderstanding.
Don't worry about it.
Wow. This is what it does to me. I'm like, why is he approaching me? You mentioned about getting $25 and you have 40. I'm like, something, right now I'm like, wait. But during that time when he approached me, I was feeling very dizzy and irritated, very frustrated. And that person was a factor of frustrating me. So this is how it makes people approach me. and it's picking up. It's reverting the way it managed me when I was a little kid and when I was a teenager and when I was 18 years old. Well, I might as well say teenager. It's reverting the way it's managing me, and now it's making people approach me. It's trying to dumb me down a bit. It's getting really annoying. So let me go with the lady. This lady. So this is 306.
Everything would have been wrong, man.
Worse. Since I came back to New York City, everything's worse. The town health, more like this Jamaica Queens, communication and behavior is significantly evolving. This is the second time. I'm saying, wait. I'm saying to myself, this is not the first time. The first time was 12. The second time, there you go. And it shows me, hey, I'm trying to distract you from actually learning your algebra for the placement test. Second time. It already distracted me with the flu for the whole entire week. The first week of June 2019 distracted me. I couldn't even go outside because I was feeling dizzy and I had a serious flu and a fever. My fever was high. The temperature shows that I have a serious fever, a severe fever. I was burning up and I was feeling really irritated. And it's going further with irritating me.
Huh? You need help with the application? You need your address. Wait. This is in a different language.
You see what I'm saying? I wouldn't be in the library if the artificial intelligence offered me a job. Or more like, rather than offer me a job, offer my mom the correct job where she can have enough money so she can be able to get out the shelter, so I can be in a room where I can study and also concentrate on getting my content out on the internet. I need content, and it doesn't want me to have any content. When I was in Florida, Kissimmee, Florida, it made sure that my internet goes off. More like, besides off, make sure that the internet, when I was in the Palm Motel, make sure that the employee that maintains the Palm Motel have make sure to interact with the owner. And the owner would suggest, not only the owner, the other employees would suggest to the owner to budget out the electricity. And Mr. Mike, the guy who maintains Palm Motel, had mentioned to my mom about, was it the internet? Well, was mentioning about the internet. Well, he was mentioning about one of the internet or air conditioner being a necessity. And then he also, I remember before he mentioned to my mom that there's a lot of people always on the internet, on their smartphone or their tablet, using the internet. And this is the reason why the internet is slow. But that was not the case, because they slowed down the internet. They made sure to change the frequency. And when I actually had access to the router in the Palm Hotel, I saw that the frequency level was very small. It was very low. They don't want too many people on the internet because it actually burns a lot of electricity. It burns a lot of power, I know, I'm recovering from my brain fog. I had headaches, intense headaches. For the week I was having a flu, and I feel really out of it. Been tired and exhausted.
Email number.
I think this is address. $80.05. Okay. All right. This is address. I know yesterday was.
Does it to me all the time. The way the guy approached me.
Forest Hill, Jamaica.
When I was a kid, and I always got in these situations, I'm like, why am I always in these situations for? And I tried learning that the idea of why I'm in these situations. So when I started getting my computer, when I started becoming, more serious about the way I was being put in the situation was in 2010. And I tried searching for people who ends up in these situations, but I ended up coming across a person who mentioned they ended up in special ed, and they had an IEP, and that the teachers in special ed was laughing in front of the person's face, and he mentioned that they claim that he's mentally retarded. So I'm saying to myself, something's not right here. Then I learned that they put specific race groups into special ed that make fun to get funds from the school, but it's more than just funds. It's to take advantage. Like there's certain people who can actually use their minds, and it wants to keep them in that situation, and also use that situation to persuade them that they can't use their mind. But for me, even though I graduated school, I was still in a situation, regardless of how many jobs I put in for, as if I feel like I was what I would call it, banned. I feel like I was banned from receiving a job. It was like someone doesn't want me to go in a job to interact with people. Just wants to isolate me. That was the feeling that I was getting. Just like the feeling I was getting in school, as if someone wants to isolate me in the special ed classes, so they can make the teachers take advantage of me, saying that I can't learn, I can't read, I can't write. It ain't felt right at all. And it's reverting back to how it managed me in 2012. That's what it brought me here for. It brought me here to use use its persuasions through people, because it picked the communication. When the communication pick up back from where it left off, and I'm receiving the communication from people with a similar idea, more like there's a tactical idea, so they can actually make me think that I can't do certain things.
This one was the city, so this has to be 80. But he says,
Mambe? Kode? Mambe? Ete dat chodia? Dat. Dat.
I think it needs to,
and I had to learn. She also gave me a birth date to put on her application and her name. What the heck? And also, I needed to get her. I couldn't. I say that the artificial intelligence is testing me on my memorization. This application is not in English. I only memorize the last application I did from the previous day. The application that I did for the guy the previous day is what I recall. So I'm trying to actually match them.
today is June 06, 2019. This is going. Let's go soon. This language. You don't need to put it. It's done. It's good. Then you sign here. Then you sign.
No, no bang.
Every time I write on it, you see, every time I write online, it significantly reflects on my environment. It actually remaps, the multi-agent quantum AI computer remap my environment. You see what I'm talking about? It remaps my environment. It picks this week, it picks that week to actually frustrate me when I need to study for my placement test. Now, since I ended up taking my placement test, and the lady, the proctor at LaGuardia Community College said I had to retake it. She mentioned I had to go to a class. I told her that I told her I want to go to Khan. I want to study my math online instead on the Khan Academy, because if I go to the math class, I'm not gonna learn like that in 2 weeks for those 12 questions. If I do it my way, the way I did it for my algebra regions, I would be able to understand the math. I had to teach myself, self-taught. I remember the lady in week here was able to grasp, what I was talking about being self-taught. She said, "How will you learn your math and your calculus and trigonometry?" I said, "Online." Because when I learn online, I get the idea faster if I learn it online. If I learn it in a class, and I'm not, doing the equations, I have to keep, in order for me to get the rhythm of writing and reading. Writing, reading, and also math. I had to actually write them out. I had to mimic those equations and break them down. Mimic those phrases and write them down. I had to keep doing it constantly. Just like the way I learned about artificial intelligence. The way I learned about artificial intelligence and quantum cryptography keys. And also quantum satellites. I had to keep, going at it constantly and breaking them down into my own interpretation in order to grasp it. And that's what I actually did. So the lady said I had to go to a remedial math class. Now I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure what happens if I fail the reading test, because it's giving me vocabulary that I never heard of, more like vocabulary that New York City people would know of, because that's social. Those are social terminologies that the New York City residents would know of, because they're around people to interact with that use those terms, and they can come across them over and over to get an idea. And since I don't know, use those terms, I'm not going to interpret the way they use a sentence. And it's a multiple choice. They're talking about cause and effect, contrast. If this sentence actually shows an example of the first sentence, it's talking about Egyptians, scientists. And I didn't even finish my writing, because I was planning the writing. Instead of planning the writing, I should have went straight to the essay, because planning slows me down. That's why I go at it all at once. So I should have went straight to the essay first. But since I haven't write using a pen for a long time, and not only using a pen, do a writing test, I lost my rhythm. I didn't have the rhythm to actually do it right away, because I recall when I was taking my writing test, I would actually write around 10 paragraphs, like that, fast, no problem. I did it with my social study Regents, and I got an 80. But in English, I ended up getting a 67 on my English Regents. I had to say that the people who was interpreting my way of writing wasn't able to translate it, because they're not thinking that the way I'm thinking when it comes to using those terms.
Name?
Yeah.
Signature?
You don't sign there.
Name? No? No?
Yeah, it's good.
Encore. Signature?
That's it. It's done.
Esa.
This is
She's not speaking English at all.
your last name.
Bon, là? Là?
Oh, you want your last name here?
Là?
All right, then. Yeah.
I'm saying to myself, what the heck is it? What is it doing? Why is this artificial intelligence doing this at this time? What's the point? And I said to myself, oh yeah, it's to frustrate me for my placement test, and it's to distract me from studying. I said that it wants to bring me back here to isolate me, and this is what I'm saying. I told my mom about it, and she didn't react. She wasn't fazed when I was talking about this to her. Like, her reaction was not her reaction. It's like it's been clocked in to fade out those fade out the situation, fade out how I explain the situation, to fade it out so it won't react, so it can be unclear to her.
It's an R-I. Hey.
boy. And then when it does it, it does it again. As soon as we go to another medical clinic, and we walked out the medical clinic, me and my mom, because my mom was helping me trying to actually find a doctor. She said, "Oh, I see Christopher." Christopher is a family friend. "I see Christopher driving." And then she mentioned big man. "Is driving, big man now. Big Christopher is driving, big man now." I'm like, what? Wait, what happened to the sentence? This is how she phrased it. "Christopher is driving, big man now." I direct that phrase to me, "Big man now." And I said to myself right now, I'm saying to myself right now, wait, the Palm Motel housekeeper phrased that in that way. When I remember, I recall going down with the laundry, and then I remember I recall she said about big man, mom, boy. So I'm like, wait, something's not right the way she phrased it. And this is considered as indirect message too. Big man now. It's to insult me. Hey, you see your family friend? Even though he did lousy in school, and they said that he has an unhealthy mind, and he was always acting baby, more like not mature for his age. At least he can get it. At least he's driving, and not only that, also at least he has to show that since he's driving, Christopher is driving, he may also have an employment. He must be employed, and you're just here running in circles where I can actually isolate you the same way it did to me when I was in school. How it isolate me, always take advantage of me. When they removed me from my first grade class to put me in another first grade class, and the kids passed by and they all laughed at me, including the teacher was staring at me. The teacher from the first class that I had, and they started staring down at me and laughing at me. Even though I left from school, elementary, middle school, high school, I left from education system, I was still receiving this treatment from my family, and also people that I had never interacted with, indirecting messages. During 2010, I remember I was in school during the time, going to the doctor, and then the doctor said to my mom, "He's a big man now." He said, "He's an adult. He's an adult. Isn't he an adult? Can he just go by himself?" At that time, I had how many classes? I had like nine classes. I'm already in a situation in school. I feel like the way she communicated means to isolate me. And it shows me numbers. 21, 31, shows the age, shows year, shows age, shows year, age, shows year. So I want to talk more about the neurologist. When the neurologist was frustrated. The neurologist was so frustrated that he ended up poking. It wasn't supposed to be a needle. It was to it's like puncturing the skin, but it wasn't supposed to bleed. The item that he was putting on me, but it ended up bleeding. And he said, "Wait, this wasn't supposed to bleed." And then he put a band-aid. And I asked my mom, what happens if I get infected? But the next day I ended up getting a bad flu and a fever. And then during the week, was it Wednesday the 12th, it's where I started reacting to my mom check when I was in a basement I noticed the way Miss Turner was reacting to my mom check, like she wasn't phased by it, how the check was ripped up, and my mom wasn't phased with how Miss Turner was behaving. This lady behavior was really, it was not how a human being should behave, as especially an employment specialist. I mean, not employment, especially as a case manager. Sorry, I'm also thinking about Mr. Jacob Humphreys, the employment specialist. They both are identical. Since they both arrived here, the situation that I'm in is, de-evolving. I feel like the artificial intelligence is making these people take advantage of me and my mom, and especially me. Taking advantage of me and my mom and sister. But I'm recovering from the brain fog because the whole entire week I had a headache and a flu. And also, I feel tired right now because last night I had a stomach ache. My stomach was hurting me, and no matter how many times I try going to sleep, I feel like my mind is being stimulated. And then when I end up going to sleep, the multi-agent quantum AI computer shows me a dream. It shows me my old classmate from 2nd grade named Ketty, and then shows me a teacher that I never met before. And the teacher wanted me to go down the next floor. And all of a sudden, Kenny was doing a test, and he had math equations, and also he was in a group. And one of the people that he was sitting with in a group had mentioned, you can't even spell. You can't even spell. And I'm saying to myself, wait a second. This is familiar. I was in a familiar situation here, but in a way been told about this situation rather than being in the situation, been told. And I remember Miss Miner had mentioned to me when I was in special ed, when I was having a special ed IEP conference with her and my mom. She had mentioned to me that when I go to college to sit in groups, and then she mentioned about my spelling. She said that when I was writing a college essay, that she saw a spelling error. I'm like, wait, I know for a fact that there was a spelling error on that because I copied and pasted. What I did that time, since I didn't know what to write for college, I went on the internet and I actually copied someone else's responses. That's what I did. And I wrote some of my own. And she said that there are spelling errors. And I know I've been doing essays during that time. I was in rhythm with my essay. I had the rhythm to write. And I remember I recall getting a 75 in my English class for writing an essay. And my teacher was shocked that I got a 75. Because I always get lower than a 55 on my essay. So I had to I'm supposed to be in a library, but since I have a stomachache, I'm not. And I'm also charging my Chromebook. But I also noticed that my charger on my Chromebook fall on the floor. All of a sudden, it was there for at least over 12 minutes, and then all of a sudden, it just fall on the floor. I'm like, wait, something's not right. Trying to do everything all at once. Trying to recover from my flu, and now the flu left a residue of brain fog. I've been feeling like I had brain fog lately. I was feeling confused, Feeling like I'm having issues with memorizing certain time and events now. Feeling like I'm having a hard time being able to. I feel like I'm having paraphasia now and aphasia. Difficulties trying to talk about object. Yesterday I was talking about my pants. I was trying to describe the pants, but I couldn't say the word pants. So this is what happens when I write on the internet. So alright, this is it for this video.